This past weekend, by that I mean Saturday, April the 5th, tens of thousands of Americans, perhaps even more, took to the streets in major cities across the country. Washington, D.C., New York, Los Angeles, what have you. All of them to protest Donald Trump and his illegal actions at ripping this country apart. Now, unfortunately, I didn't participate in these protests. I didn't even know about them until they were actually ongoing. That and the fact that the weather was terrible, raining, and it was cold and all. But I definitely would have gone if I had the chance. Not because I'm trying to rise up against the United States government, not because I'm an anarchist, but because I believe in what our country still is supposed to be about. Freedom, unity, justice. The things that are inscribed on the United States Constitution, which Donald Trump himself took an oath to support and defend. And he has broken that oath. We're barely a full 3 months into his presidency, and he has broken his oath. That is why people took to the streets. That and the fact that he has taken a blowtorch to this country. He has taken a blowtorch to our freedoms. He has taken a blowtorch to the planet, if we're going to be even more further about this. He has taken a blowtorch to everything that we hold sacred. Why has he done all this? Because he has no clue how to be a president. He didn't back in 2016 through 2020, and he doesn't now. He has let Elon Musk take a blowtorch to this country. Now, I agree that we need some sort of governmental oversight on things in this government. That we need to get accountability back on the stage. However, the way he's doing it, putting millions of people out of work, taking away programs to feed and clothe millions of people in this country, the threats about taking Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid away from Americans, that is why we took to the streets to protest Donald Trump and Elon Musk. Now, I already know what Donald Trump's going to scream and hoof and holler, and all of his allies in and out of Congress are going to say. I already know what they're going to scream. They're going to say that this was all paid. All of them were paid by George Soros to be out there. Seriously? George Soros may be rich, but he's not that rich. They're going to say they're anarchists, they're out of control, it's time for martial law. None of that is true. I've watched footage of these protests, and nowhere did I see any violence or agitation, unless it came from the MAGA. These people were not paid. I shouldn't be using that phrase, these people. I should be using the phrase, Americans. Because that is what we're fighting for, America. We're fighting for the country we grew up in. Can things be better? No question. That's what this country is all about. We change things for the better. Going all the way back to its founding, all the way to its present day, changes have been made to this country to make it better, stronger, fairer, kinder, more united, more stronger. And Donald Trump has taken a blowtorch to all of that. And I honestly don't understand why. Is he still pissed off that he lost in 2020? Get over it. You lost. You did everything you could to try to reverse the decision, reverse the results of the election, but you failed. You tried January 6th, a terrorist attack, and failed. The reason why we're on the streets is to save our country from its biggest threat. That threat, unfortunately, being Donald Trump himself. And to make the insult to injury, where was Donald Trump during all this? Was he at the White House Situation Room monitoring the protests? No. Better question, was he at the transfer of those 4 soldiers who passed away overseas? No, he wasn't. Where was he? He was in Mar-a-Lago, Florida, on another golf tournament, no doubt paying for him to win. You see, the real danger to me and everyone else in this country is Donald Trump. And that is why they protest. That is why we protest. That's why I'm making this video. If Donald Trump were to just sit down, shut his mouth, and do his job as President of the United States, I would have no problem with him. In fact, I would say I don't want to watch the news. It's boring. I want to watch an old episode of The Simpsons. I want to watch the new episode of Law & Order SVU. I want to watch the national championship game. That's about the women's and the men's. But anything but the news, because it's boring. I want politics boring again. I don't want to have to worry every day that Donald Trump is going to rip this country apart. I don't need to worry every day that Donald Trump is going to snap and take a match to the United States Constitution, which is what he really wants, what his friends really want. I don't want to worry that every day the man elected to be the leader of this nation will start World War III because another nation, the nation he wants to go to war for, against, I should say, excuse me, refuses to kneel to him. That's what this weekend's protests were about. The fact that he is ripping this country apart, putting millions of people out of work, threatening the safety net of millions of Americans, whether it be Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, retirement benefits, whatever. We should not have to worry about him doing any of this. We shouldn't have to worry. But unfortunately, with Donald Trump, every day he gets worse. It's like watching a drug addict continuously being told, you need to stop taking these drugs because one day or the other they're going to kill you. And then he ignores you. In fact, it gets worse. First he ignores you, then he gets another needle and sticks it in his arm, right in front of you. Trump could care less about what's happening in this country. And he has shown it from day one, long before this administration's day one. He's shown it way back when, long before he even became president. The truth means nothing to him. Lives mean nothing to him. That's what this weekend was about. And Donald Trump is going to try to frame this again. He's going to try to frame this as they're being paid. Somewhere George Soros is paying them. Another billionaire is paying them. They're all agitators. They know nothing. Blah, 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 blah. And the sad part is his followers will probably follow suit and say the same thing. But we and I know the truth. We know the truth as to why this is happening. Why we're doing this. It's not because we're agitators or terrorists. It's not because we hate this country. We love this country. When I looked at those protests, I didn't see one Confederate flag, one Nazi flag, one upside down flag or anything like that. I saw patriotism. I saw general Americans fighting for this country, using our First Amendment rights. The First Amendment which Donald Trump is trying to take away from you and me. Months ago, I said I was ashamed of my country in the previous video. Thanks to this past weekend's events, my faith in my country and its people have been restored. Thank you, America. Thank you, Americans who marched this past weekend. You re-energized my faith in my country. Do not slow down. Trump is still a threat to this country. Do not let up. He is still the man with his finger on the nuclear button. Do not slow down. Do not let up. Do not give in. Trump and his supporters are going to call you every name in the book and accuse you of everything in the book. I know this for a fact. But when it comes to what we do, what we have to do, we have to keep fighting. This is bigger than just Republican and Democrat, liberal or conservative, red versus blue. This is America versus Trump. Choose your side. Choose wisely. CTP, know the truth. God bless. Peace to the left, justice to the right.